Hello everybody and welcome to Bird's Nest Designs. My name is Denise Cox and I am your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canada, and I am super excited to be here tonight for Tutorial Tuesday with some brand new products and some brand new tools and just lots and lots of fun brewing for you tonight. So tonight we are going to, hi Carol and Gail, thanks for joining me. Tonight we're going to be using the Brewed for You stamp set. This one is one of my faves from the new catalog. It's very versatile. You can make all kinds of cards. In fact, I love it so much that I've chosen it for my Stamp of the Month Club for June. So I had so much fun creating. I just made a ton of cards when I was at my retreat, and I can't wait to share them all with you. Hi, Jody. So here's the card we're going to make right here. Okay, and I've got some little tips and tricks to share with you there. Hi, Sandy. Oh yeah, just so much going on right now. So brand new catalog, as you all know, is live. It's beautiful. There are so many products in there. My wish list is massive. The new colors are fabulous. And yeah, I just love it. So I hope that you guys have got your copies and you're thumbing through them and you're marking your pages and you're making your wish list, because there's lots and lots of good stuff to have on there. Yeah, I can't think of anything else to share with you right now, except that I want to make this card with you. So let me pop the camera down and see what we can do. Hi, Sherry and Suzanne. Oh my goodness, so many of you here tonight. I'm so excited. All right, so let me just flip the camera down to my desk. There we go. All right, so here's the card, as I mentioned, and we're using the Brewed for You bundle. And if you can see on here, I'm just trying to get a little bit closer to the camera, we've got some frosted looking mugs. Okay, so there's little tips and tricks to that, and just a ton of fun to be had making this card. So here's the bundle. Let me show you the dies. So it comes with the Brewed for You stamp set, obviously, and the Brewed dies. So I'm going to pop these out. Hi, Gail and Tina. Oh my goodness. Thank you everyone for joining me. So here's our Brewed dies. Okay, so you can see that they're going to cut out the images as well as a few accent pieces, which we are going to use tonight to create a whole bunch of different things to go along with your card making. So this is a really nice bundle. It is on, let me just show you it here in the catalog. It's on page 83, and they've done a fabulous job of showing us some beautiful samples. And look at that. Isn't that adorable to decorate a little bottle? I love that. So yeah, so lots of different ideas. The bundle itself is $52, so it's a really good deal. The stamp set is $25, and there's another one back here that I really liked the sample of. So here's the bundle again, and just look at that card, totally different look. So very versatile, as I mentioned, and lots to go, lots to do with this one. So I'm going to set those aside. And again, here's the card. Now it is a tent fold card, so it's opening this way. Let's go ahead. I've got a lot of the pieces pre-cut as usual. Of course, I didn't write the measurements down, but we can measure as we go. So we're starting off with a crushed curry card base. And this one's going to measure 11 inches by 4 1/4. So basically I just cut the cardstock in half lengthways, and then I've scored it at 5 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead and fold on the score line. Oh, I see, and I didn't do a very good job scoring that. So you can see, I'm just going to show this to the camera. This is a little tip. You can see that my fold line really isn't very nice. It's very jagged and not crisp at all. But the bone folder to the rescue, and we're just going to rub that along there. That's quite a bit of pressure. And now we have a nice clean fold. So if that ever happens to you, just pull out your handy bone folder and it'll rescue you. All right. So the next thing I have is from the Abstract Beauty Designer Series paper. And this one, I'm trying to find it here for you. This is this pretty paper that comes available in the mini catalog. So you can still get that one until the end of June, and there's some wonderful pieces. The one we're using tonight is just these gold and white stripes, so it's nice gold foil. So I've got those. They measure 4 1/4 wide by, this one is 3/4, and I believe this one was 1/2 inch. Yeah, so that was 1/2 inch and 3/4. So to start with, I'm going to glue those in place. And how many of you ladies watching, I'm watching the comments, how many of you have looked at this Brewed for You stamp set? And if you have, did you add it to your wish list? Because I'm telling you, I thought it was super adorable. Great for masculine cards, great for summer cards. It doesn't have to be beer or wine. It could be sodas and all kinds of fun things, some lemonade. Okay, so I've just got this glued on. So the thicker one, the 3/4 inch one at the top, and the 1/2 inch one right along the bottom. All right, so next thing I've got is an early espresso square. And this cardstock square, oh, Gail didn't make your wish list. Well, maybe I'll change your mind after tonight. So this is 4 1/4 by, I believe it was 4 1/4. Yeah, so it's 4 1/4 square. And we're gonna go ahead and just glue that directly on top, and it's gonna slightly layer over top of that designer paper we just attached. So just a wee bit. My goal here is to make sure that none of the yellow is showing between the paper and the cardstock. All right. So there we go. That's the front of our card. Now, the next piece I have is going to measure 4 by 4, and it's a piece of very vanilla cardstock. So I'm loving that a lot of you have seen this and did add it to your wish list. That's awesome. Okay, so as you can see here, this is embossed, and to emboss, we're going to use this beauty, this brick and mortar 3D embossing folder. So this made it into the catalog again. I was super happy to see it there. So I'm going to go ahead, and I get asked quite often how the sandwich works on the Stamp Cut and Emboss machine to cut these 3D folders. So I'll just pick these pieces out of the way. I'm going to set this aside. We're going to need that piece. And I'm going to bring in my platform. Okay. So on the platform, it does tell you, you always need number 1. Okay. And for all of our thin dies and embossing folders, you need number 1. And then it tells you right here, so using with 3D embossing folders, we need number 1 and number 4. So number 4 is available separately in the catalog, and it's this gray one right here. And they're all numbered, which is super awesome. So let's go ahead and just stick our cardstock in here. The other nice thing, I'm sure I've told you all this before, but if you're watching for the first time, or maybe a good reminder, this nice line that Stampin' Up! Has included on here, I use that to make sure that my paper is lined up straight. So I line my cardstock up against that line, and that's going to make sure my pattern is straight. So let's get that. So that's going to go straight on here. And it's always a good idea to have your fold, your hinge of your embossing folder going through the machine first. So we're going to sandwich that up. I'm going to take my embossing machine here, my cut and emboss, and we're just going to put that through and wheel it through. And it really does not have a lot of tension, which means that it's going to be doing its job and we're not overstressing it. So when we pop that out, we have this beautiful embossed piece. Okay, now back to our card. Okay, I will have to bring that machine in again because I've got a fun new tool to share with you guys. So any of my stamping friends that are watching that love the framelits, you're going to want to see this new tool. All right, so let's go ahead and just attach the bricks onto here. Okay. Isn't that beautiful? I love that embossing folder. It's so versatile. All right, now back to our pieces. So from the Layering Circles dies, again, this is another returning product. This right here, these are one of my favorites and most used. So we've got the large Early Espresso scallop circle, and then we've got a slightly smaller Very Vanilla. And what I want to do is stamp on here. So bear with me, as I just realized I left my stamping blocks in the next room, so give me 1 sec. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So, like I said, we're going to stamp our OLES. I love that. It's so cute. We're going to stamp that onto our circle. So again, just a little reminder, when using photopolymer, it's always a great idea to lay it flat on your surface and then put your block on top to make sure that it's going to stay in the position it was intended. And we're going to use Early Espresso ink. And I just want to stamp that onto the left side of my circle. I'm just going to stamp that there. Perfect. Okay, there we go. So now we can go ahead and attach that to the scallop. And I'm attaching that flat, so that's just going to be glued down with my Stampin' Seal. Okay, and then we can go ahead and we're going to, hi Sharon, oh hi Bev, thanks for joining us. So we're going to attach this guy right here with some Stampin' Dimensionals. So let's just go ahead and put a few of those on the back. And that's going to go just right here in the center. Okay. Now we're going to have some fun. So again, using those scallop, oh sorry, not the scallops, the layering circles, and using the smallest ones, I have cut out a very small scallop circle, as you can see here, using the gold paper out of the gold and rose gold 6x6. So again, this made it to the catalog too, which was super exciting. And then I've just cut out a white, or sorry, a vanilla circle, and I'm going to layer those on. Now your edge, the edge that's going to show through is not very big, but I just wanted that subtle bit of gold sparkle. You all know I love this sparkle. Ah. Okay, there we go. So we've got that circle with the little bit of gold showing around the edge. Now from those dies I shared with you, these Brewed dies, love them. I've used this little, what's it called, a hop? I think it's a hop plant here, and then a couple of the leaves. And to be totally truthful with you, I'm not sure what it's supposed to look like. So if anybody can enlighten me on that, that would be awesome. But for now, I am just going to do it the same way I did it, because visually I thought it looked really nice. Okay, so I'm just poking out these little bits that didn't quite pop out. All right, no, almost. One little one there. Okay. So here we go. We've got this hop plant. I'm assuming it's a hop. I hope I'm saying that right. But anyway, correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a very little bit of our multi-purpose glue. Now, had I been thinking ahead, I would have used adhesive sheet, because this is very dainty lines. And you all know me, I don't really love this fussy gluing business. But we got to do what we got to do. So now we'll go ahead and put that on here. Okay, and we'll just let that glue down. There we go. Okay, and then as I mentioned, I've got a couple of the little leaves that I've cut out of Evening Evergreen. Okay, so that's one of the returning in colors. So I'm just going to attach that on the bottom. Okay, I'm not seeing anybody's posts about whether this is actually a hop plant and what it's supposed to look like. So this is what we're gonna go with. All right, so I've got those on. Oh, I thought I had those on there. Goodness. It's sticking to my finger because I got glue on. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's try this again. Apparently this little one needs some more glue. There we are. Perfect, now it stayed. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm gonna set this aside because we're gonna do this in a little bit. Now I wanna show you how we're going to create these frosted mugs. So let's set this aside. This is just my insert, so I'm gonna tuck that over here. Now I've got a piece of vellum and a scrap piece of Very Vanilla. And the vellum came from this super cute little package here of vellum. Oh, I'll have to check my phone after, Christine, to see the picture you sent me, because that's what's filming the video right now. Okay, so I just wanted to share with you guys this cute pack of the Lovely Layers vellum. This is actually my host or my customer appreciation gift this month. So during the month of May, if you place an order of $60 or more using my May host code, you will receive a package of this in June as a thank you gift. So look at these patterns. So you've got pattern vellum, which makes really nice overlays for cards. And it's got all different ones. So really cool. And then at the end, we've got tons of little pieces of just plain vellum. So this is what I've used. I've just cut it down to size. And speaking of that, I wanted to show you guys another card I made with the same stamp set right here. And if you can see behind, I've used the vellum with the little dots on it, just to kind of give a subtle background behind. So again, super fun stamp set. Love the vellum, and just a few little touches and you've got another super cute card. Okay, back to this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start by stamping on the vellum. And to do that, you want to use a StazOn ink. So I've got my StazOn black right here. And we're going to use both the mug and the glass. And then we are going to need the froth. That's what I'm calling it. Okay, so again, we'll get these on some blocks. All right, so let's go ahead and create this. And I just realized I forgot another piece we're gonna need, and I'm gonna have to run back to my craft studio. Good thing it's just behind the door. One of these times I'll be super organized. So let's go ahead, we're gonna snap that onto the vellum. And the reason you wanna use StazOn is because it will not rub off. It's a permanent ink. And it's gonna be sticky like you just saw. That's okay. And there's a good chance that it's going to stain your stamps, but that's fine. They'll still stamp beautifully. So no need to worry. Okay, so we've got that. And then on this piece here, the scrap, I'm just going to stamp one of the froth. I don't know what you want to call it, foam. Okay, here we go. So this is the foam. We're going to stamp that just once using Early Espresso. So good question, Gail, about the StazOn. So as you can see on here, if I rub this right now, it's not going to come off, right? That ink didn't smear. But watch what happens if this is just a sample, it's kind of impromptu, but if I stamp this onto my vellum, okay, that's just regular classic ink. Now watch what happens. Oh, now it's not going to do it. It's going to normally, well, it is smearing. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but it is kind of wiping off. So that is something to consider. The StazOn will last longer. All right, that. And bear with me as I go run and grab one more thing. had just forgotten to grab a piece of crushed curry, so we're going to need that. So the new tool that I want to share with you guys tonight is something we've all been anticipating, and it's the brand new magnetic board for the Stamp, Cut, and Emboss machine. Okay, so this beauty, I'm so excited. I couldn't wait to open it when it arrived yesterday. So this can be found on page 157. It's right here, number 5. It's $39, and it's self-healing. So this surface here is self-healing. The whole thing is magnetic, so you're not going to have those jumping framelits trying to find where the magnet is. The whole thing is magnetic. So it's really, really an awesome addition to our catalog for sure. And I'm going to show you how we go ahead and use that. So we've got base number 1, and then we need number 2, and then we need, oh yeah, then we need number 5. There we go, number 5. Now it does come with a little cheater sheet, so it shows you the sandwich here. So when you order your own, because you're going to want to, you're going to have this sheet so you have a constant reminder of how to put your sandwich together. So we've got 1, 2, 5, and then we're going to need a number 3. Okay, so here we go. This is my first time using this. I was trying it yesterday in the manner of making sure it didn't actually jump and everything stayed exactly where it was supposed to be, which it did. But I didn't actually roll it through. So here we go. This is the Maiden Voyage. All right. So we've got this. Now the other thing I'm going to do, bear with me as I just rip this paper. So I've just, being unprepared, I'm improvising here. So we've got that on there, slide that up. We've got the scrap little piece of crushed curry that I just tore. And we're going to cut off, or cut out, these 2 dies here. So this one is for the mug, and this one is for the glass. So those are just going to get cut out on their own. So we can cut all of those out. They're going to stay nice and tight in place. And let's see what happens when we roll this through this machine. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what happens. Why is this not going through? Uh-oh. Something's not right. Okay, let's try that again. So it's got 1, 2, 5, 3. So 1, 2, 5, 3. Interesting. Well, this was supposed to be like the magic moment. Let me just move this for a second. Make sure I don't have something under it stuck. Well, that's not even going to go through there. I have a hunch. Okay, so here it is going through, and there's a little printed mistake on that cheater sheet. Good to know. You do not need number 2. So this number 2 here, number 2, you don't need it. So that was a mistake on that printing, at least for my machine. So here we go. So now I've taken that out. Mystery solved. So we've got these beautiful images, all die cut. Look how nicely that just pops off. Oh, I love it. Okay. So let's just take those off and look at, you guys are all witness to the first marks inside of my machine here. Okay, now I was a little questioning about whether or not you did on this side or the magnet side, but it does indeed say to cut it on the printed side. So this is the printed side. So there you go. All right, so let's finish making this card. I've shown you that amazing tool once we got that little mystery solved. Okay, So here we go. We are going to, no, I've misplaced, there we go. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is, so we've got these nice vellum mugs, but you can see if we did that, it's kind of blasé. So I'm gonna take these pieces. Now they do come with the top and the bottom. Jody, oh, is there a magnet plate for the little machine? There's one coming. It's not available yet, but it is coming. So that'll be super awesome. Awesome. All right, so what I want to do is now I'm going to put these yellow crushed curry die cuts in behind my cups to make them look full. And the unfortunate part is you do see this glue. So all I'm going to do is tiny little smudges, if you want to call it that. And then I'm going to place that down here. Okay. So you can see the glue through slightly if you really look, but at a quick glance, or even to somebody who's not looking for it, you can't tell. So again, I'm going to do the same thing for this one here for the beer mug. Because in this sample, this is going to be beer, but you could fill this with early espresso and make root beer or cola. You could put pink lemonade. There's so many opportunities you could make this with if you didn't want to make it beer. Okay, here we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stagger these, right? Again, I thought, oh, that needs a little something. So hence the froth that we cut out. So what we're going to do is glue that over top like this. But my little trick, again, a little trick I found as I was playing with this stamp set at my retreat, is I'm just going to cut in here at this corner slightly. Okay, just a little tiny nip. And then I can just slide that kind of like so, right? And it's going to stay where it needs to stay. And I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive using the multi-purpose just on the little drip here. Okay. So that, again, we're just going to slip that into that little cut that we made, just like so. We have the vellum on top of the frost so that it does look like it's in place. Isn't that adorable? I think it's so cute. Okay, so now let's put this all together. I need my Stampin' Dimensionals, of course, and I'm going to put a couple of them behind my beer mug. Oh, I did this backwards. I meant to show you guys a different trick. Let me see. Let me see if I can undo it. I'm going to quietly pull this apart. Okay, I'll show you why. This stamp is stamped this way, so the handle is on the left. But to layer these guys up, I didn't want to cover that handle because I think it's super cute. So what I'm going to do is flip it over, and that's the beauty of the vellum, because now your image is essentially reversible, right? It can go either way. So I want the handle on the right, so I'm going to go ahead and attach this again. Okay, so that's a little trick for you as well when you want a reversed image. Vellum is always an option. Okay, so now we've got our dimensionals on the beer mug. The beer mug is flipped the right way. And we'll go ahead and attach that on here, like that, on an angle. And then on this one, same thing. I want this to be layered up even more, so I'm going to put my dimensional right there. Now it will show through, so make sure that you've got your dimensional on the yellow paper. And then because it's double bumped there, it's got to be double bumped on the bottom as well. So let's go ahead. That. We'll stagger that like so. Our froth looks real. It looks like it's popping out of the glass. And then we'll finish it off by adding our little top piece. I'm thinking that's what it is. I'll have to check out the photo that Christine sent me. So again, I'm double bumping this so that it is going to be level with my cup. I'm going to stick that on there like so. And then the last thing that we're going to do is add one of these gorgeous rustic metallic adhesive back dots. Another one of my favorites from the catalog. I love embellishments. I love bling, and these ones are really nice because they've got a masculine feel to them. So you can use them on those masculine cards because sometimes a rhinestone or a pearl just doesn't quite fit the bill. So there we go. There is our card for tonight. I love it. Super excited to have shared that with you guys. What do you think? Do you like the card? Are you excited? Have you now added the Brewed for You stamp set to your wish list? It is a great one, and I can see so many possibilities. Like I mentioned, I've chosen this one for my June Stamp of the Month club. So if you're a member of the club, get excited to add this to your collection. And if you're not and you want to find out more, then you can message me or go to my blog, createwithbirdsnest.ca, and there's a link to tell you all about the Stamp of the Month Club. Okay, I'm back. Thank you all for being here and for stamping with me. And thanks for being patient with my little bloopers for getting things in the other room. But I will get organized. I'm still kind of transitioning everything from our renovation, and this room still needs to be painted. It's still brown, but it will be pink. So yeah, so there we go. There's our card for tonight. If anybody wants to place an order, you can message me directly or you can go online. And as I mentioned, if you place an order with this month's host code, $60 or more, you'll get a free package of that lovely layering vellum sent to you in the beginning of June. So awesome. Oh, thanks, Christine. Yes, it was time for a change with the new do. Time to update and get rid of that gray. I was getting a little tired of it. And the new hoodie is my new Stampin' Up hoodie. Let me see if I can share it with you guys. Isn't it gorgeous? So the Abigail Rose Designer Series paper that's in the catalog, this is the same print that's on my sweater. So super excited. I love it. Yeah. So anyway, thanks everybody. And I will chat with you all real soon. Like I said, if you want to order anything like the magnetic plate, let me know and I'll get that order placed for you. Okay, cheers everyone. Have a great rest of your week.